1, 2, 3, action.
I couldn't hear that clap at all.
Oh, I should have clapped into the mic. I clapped into the camera. 1, 2, 3, action.
I didn't hear that one either.
Well, whatever. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you though. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, hello.
You have got to be kidding.
Electrifying the crowd. Oh, that's incredible. What a way to win it.
Those who thought we were putting water on my fire, you're really adding gas to it. And now I'm really burning so bright right now.
Back once again.
Yes. It was
How long has it been?
blink, blink, blink. 4 months.
Is that true?
Yes. The US Open was in August.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And then we pieced the fuck out.
Basically, an entire season. No fall coverage.
Thank God. Someone needs to take a break if it's not going to be the players.
Wait, no, I feel like that's not true. We did the US Open, right?
That was in August. It's December.
I thought that was in September.
Oh, yeah. Early September, before 9/11.
Nonetheless, months, plural.
Yes. Yeah. We needed the break. They needed the break, but didn't get it. So we took it for them.
It's true. It's true.
And now we're here.
Yeah. Are you rejuvenated since the break? How are you feeling about taking time away from the world's greatest sport?
Blink, blink, blink. I have conflicting emotions.
Okay.
Which I'll include later in my list. But first of all, we're here this isn't a season 2 premiere. We are here doing an end of year special to discuss our predictions for the 2025 tennis season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't feel rejuvenated. I feel something else. Which
is it a negative or a positive feeling?
Negative. I mean, both. I'm a Libra, so you are too. We're Libras, but me specifically, it's complicated, balance and shit. So when I get into it, then you'll know what it is. How are you feeling though?
Kind of meh. Right? Like I'm not excited about tennis, but I'm also not dreading it. I think it's because I have a very out of sight, out of mind kind of brain. And because I haven't seen tennis for me, it's been like a month and a half. I'm like, I don't remember the connection that I had to this game.
Fair. Ooh.
And so
would some people call us posers then?
I don't think so. I think everybody gets tired of something in their life. And tennis is a long season, so I don't blame us or fault anybody else if they have like negative feelings about or not so positive feelings about the new season. I think it just happens. But then once we get into the swing of things, once we get into the groove of January, especially the Australian Open, back on the horse, locked in.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Okay.
We should get started.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know what's on your list of 2025 predictions.
Oh, first we have to do an introduction.
Right. For those who have never seen this show, first of all, go back and watch season 1.
That is so hostile. New people are gonna pick up on different episodes.
That's true. But I would encourage anybody to go back and watch season 1 because it's not bad. I am Jay Davis, one half of this party.
And I'm Nafeesa, the other half.
And together we make up a good rally, a new modern take on the tennis podcast, I would say.
From a Black twin perspective.
Specifically, yes.
So yeah, everything that encompasses is what this podcast is.
Right. We talk about players. We talk about the game as a whole. We talk about the politics of tennis. We talk about the scandals of tennis. We talk about it all.
Yes, and always through the lens of trying to center Black and brown players, and the ways that the politics of tennis affect people on and off the court.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that we've got the business out of the way, let's get into the juicy bits.
All right, let's go, mate.
First prediction of the 2025 season. Go.
Oh, you want to go bar for bar, one for one?
I do.
Okay. In no particular order, my first thing on the list is that Francis and Naomi will win a slam. Amen.
Ooh. Ooh. I had Naomi on my list. She's my first bullet point, actually, for the episode. Francis, I have to see. I have to see what he's working with out the gate. I think Francis winning a chip very much so depends on his mental state, especially.
Yes, I 100% agree. But like you said, it is going to be based off of his mental abilities, his mental capabilities. Francis isn't always locked in. Sometimes he does get distracted when playing tennis. But I think one, the skill is there. We saw that last year when he went against Carlos Alcaraz. He lost, but it was a good game.
When he
And
went against Carlos at Wimbledon, you're talking about.
yeah, when he went against Carlos Alcaraz at Wimbledon, Francis lost, but he didn't lose in the way that I thought he was gonna lose. Like I thought he was gonna get fried, cooked, but he held his own. He still lost, because grass isn't his best surface. But if he can just channel that sort of energy and honestly hone his maturity that comes just with age and like getting better mentally and physically as you progress, then I think he'll have a good shot at winning the slam. I don't think he'll come out of the gate. Like I would not see Francis winning Australian Open, but come September, he could do the US Open and win it. That's my prediction.
Controversially, I'm gonna say if Francis Tiafoe takes a chip, it's either the US Open in September of 2025 or the Australian Open, actually, because he's riding a wave right now. The performance that he had at this year's US Open was phenomenal. Like that match against Ben Shelton, down in the history books. That match against Fritz, that was pretty good also. For a large chunk of that match, he had the momentum. And I think that if his mental is good and he's still where he was playing in September, I think he has a chance of taking the Aussie Open. I'm going to keep my faith and I'm going to say he makes it far in Australia.
In Australian?
If not making it to the final.
I think
I would
so
love
too.
to see him in a final.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I'm kind of tired of seeing Sinner in finals.
Yes. It's a snooze fest at this point. Not watching him play, but just like the predictability of him ending up in a final is kind of like, okay, shorty. And like for careers, like legendary careers, we know this is something that happens all the time, but we rooting for everybody Black here. So we have to be the ones to be like, Yannick Sinner is good, but Francis would be a more exciting person to see in the final.
Yeah, 100%. Like we've seen Sinner win almost everything this year. A lot of the smaller tournaments he took, okay. 2 Grand Slams he took, okay. Like I think 2025 should definitely be somebody else's year. Maybe an underdog. And maybe an underdog that's like even below Francis. I would love to see Ben Shelton have a great year. I would love to see Ben Shelton just take chip after chip after chip this year. But I don't think he's ready mentally.
No. I think there's some maturation that still has to happen there. But on his way for sure. I think he could definitely take a chip in his career.
Yes. How old is Ben? Ben just turned like 22 or something
Yeah.
like that.
21 or 22.
He has time.
Not older than 22. So
He does have time. I
Yeah.
feel like when that frontal lobe fully develops,
hello.
that will be his prime time, his golden age.
Hello. Yeah. When that Saturn return,
No, seriously. Seriously. Just a couple more rotations and he's
Yeah.
Gucci because he has the talent, truly.
Mhm. This is true. Okay, let's go in bar for bar. Talk about Naomi.
I just feel like she has it in her. I feel like her time is now. That back injury that she sustained towards the end of the season this year,
hmm
that was heartbreaking. But I feel like her and her team have done a really good job of like rehabbing her and getting her back to a place where she was practicing on Christmas on the courts.
hmm
I think she has a really good shot. The other day she posted on Instagram, I think it was, about her Australian Open fit and how Nike let her design it. So I know she's excited about
hmm
this Grand Slam, the inaugural one. And I think because she is excited about it, that means that she'll play well. And, you know, she already got 2. Why not another one?
I
And Patrick's
yeah.
on her team now.
Who?
Patrick, whose last name I don't pronounce because I can't.
Serena's old coach.
Yeah.
I was like, who? Because I don't know his last name. It Moglu
Moritoglu.
Moradoglu. Sorry, I don't speak French. Patrick's on her team, which could be a great sign. Could be.
Yeah, I think it's indicative of one chip this year. I'm say that. I'm gonna say that right
good
now.
One.
Yeah, and I'm carrying that on my back the whole year. 100%.
Good one. Holger Rune would disagree.
I was about to say you need to bleep me right now because I was about to go in on Runa.
Because for context, if you didn't know or if you forgot, Holger Rune, who is a men's tennis player, has Patrick on his team as well and does not have a chip. But Naomi is different
In every way, shape, and form.
like different, like really like big dog. So I agree with you. She's definitely getting one chip this year for sure. Like post baby, post 2024, which I saw as more of a transitional year of her just getting back into the swing of things.
I agree with that.
She is coming. And she designed her kit, like you said. I can't wait to see the kit, but I think it's just going to give her wings on her back.
Yeah. Who's next? Our first predictions were very aligned.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see if we can keep the twin tuition going.
Okay, I'll go next. I have a
Okay.
good one. This is one that I've been wanting to talk about because 2024 was a big year for retirement within the tennis community.
Ooh, the R word. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Who do I think is going to retire in 2025?
Wait, say it at the same time. Count to 3, and then we both say who we think, because I have a retirement on here too.
Okay. One,
2, 3.
Gail
Sloane
Monfils.
Stevens. Oh.
You think Sloane is going to retire?
It's not in the eyes no more, and it's not in the heart no more.
Really? But she just won a chip this season. In France, I think. It was in France. She bodied everybody the whole week.
What was the level?
Maybe 250.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say 250. I don't want to hear that. to go from winning the US Open to bodying people at a 250 level. A win is a win. A win is a win.
I mean, not every year is going to be a good year. Serena had bad years.
Years, plural. Sorry, Sloane. Love you. But I'm rooting for you, and you have not been coming through. This isn't this isn't just a 2024 exclusive thing.
Yo, that's mad interesting that you said Sloane. I can't see it. I think she'll stick it out. I think that there is hope inside of her that she has what it takes within still to at least get one more Grand Slam. At least one more.
Really?
Because she's young.
She is young, but listen, this is not me being a hater, though it sounds mad.
It's giving. Hater.
Whatever. But I want Sloan to win a chip. Will she win a chip? I don't think so. I would love to be proven wrong. I love being proven wrong by Black people. I really do. But I don't think she has it in her. That's my prediction. It's a prediction.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Like it's your opinion. But I'm saying I'm shocked. I'm
Gagged.
shocked.
Yeah,
Literally
I
gagged.
was going for the gag factor for this anyway. So, what you got, Haji?
I mean, you ate with that. Mine is a lot more realistic.
Oh yeah, Gail.
Not a lot more realistic, but I think Gail's on his way out. 100%.
No,
A
what
couple of
jinx? No, we didn't say things at the same time. We just interrupted each other. I was gonna say, what about him besides age? Because I think for his age, damn, that sounds so ageist to say, but it's true. It's a sport. For his age, he plays really well. So what makes you think that
I
he's
don't
gonna
think
retire?
it's his age. I think it's the grueling tour of the season. Like there was an article published early last year, not last year. It's still 2024. Early this year in February where he was like, I really miss my daughter when I'm on this tour. He has a small child.
Yeah, that's true.
Children are the game changer. Once you have a little person waiting at home for you, you're like, I gotta go. This is a job, actually, now.
That's true. Unless you're Novak.
True. Novak's like,
You have a mom for a reason. I'll see you on the court.
no, seriously. But yeah, I think Gail is a family man. Gael is a family man through and through. And I do think because both him and his wife, Alina Svitolina, they both play. They're both on the tour. That's a lot for a kid. So I think he's going to start looking out for his baby girl and be like, well, I'm out of here. And then there was also an article that was just published about how Gail really wants to go into banking.
That is so random. Well, no, actually, it's not.
He was like, everybody does the whole commentator thing. Everybody does the whole podcast thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Shout out podcasts. Some are good.
But he was like, yeah, when I retire, I want to be a banker. I want to be a finance guy. And I think because the idea is right here, he's 1 foot out the door.
It's come from the back of the head all the way up. It's here. And it's okay, that makes sense. Yeah, banking. It does seem random, but then I thought about it for a second and I'm like, professional tennis is all about the money. So it's not even a stretch to go from being a tennis player to a banker because you are in cahoots and connected to so many people with money.
Right. And I'm sure you have your accountant on speed dial.
Right. Well, it's gonna be sad, man. One less Black person on the court. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. One less seasoned player also. I love the older players. I love the older players. I think it's so incredible to have the blueprint for a younger generation still on the court.
Yeah, and I honestly, I just love watching Gael play. Like he's really good and entertaining.
Yeah, he is.
In a way that made it really fun to watch him and Carlos Alcaraz play each other at the Miami Open last year because they're cut from the same cloth in that way. So it was like watching I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but watching old school versus new school. And like they're so similar and yet different at the same time, but it was so complimentary that I was like, oh, I could watch this all day. Like the skill is there, but then also there's a bit of showiness that I always appreciate, even though other people in tennis don't. But yeah, Damn, that'll be sad.
No, it's true. I mean, I do think that there is a player on the court right now who will replace Gael in terms of Gael and Carlos's like very, very great and epic showdowns. That's Ben Shelton easily. He's just as much of a performer as Carlos and as Gael. Like
Yeah.
I'm not worried that I will lose that, but I just love seeing Gael play. Like
Yeah.
he's older. He's like one of the maybe the one of one older black players still doing it and like eating the children up.
Yeah, and going far in tournaments. Yeah. Yeah, he is one of one in that regard. And I think you're right, because we saw Ben Shelton and Carlos play each other at the Garden Cup here in New York. And it was an exhibition match, but it was really fun to watch.
It was. And
So,
they were on like 5 that night. Imagine what it looks like
right.
facing each other in a Grand Slam or
Yeah.
like Miami Open sort of situation. And they're on 9-10.
Yeah, that's going to be
Fire.
really fun to see. You're right.
Fire.
Okay. Nice.
What you got next?
Venus Williams will quiet quit.
She hasn't done it already.
Well, you know,
No
Venus.
No shade, no tea, no shade.
You know, Venus. If first of all, Venus is my soul sister because of her and Serena. She is the older sister. She's the actual older sister. I'm the older sister of us two. I've always connected with Venus. And in that connection, I know she's going to quiet quit. 1, because I would do that. 2, because, you know, she pops up as a wild card in places and gets demolished sometimes.
She does. It's actually really painful to watch.
No disrespect to her, but I'm like, you are literally playing someone half your age, and she got you running up and down the court like you aren't Venus Williams. But I think she played last year. She did. At
in the beginning of last year.
In the beginning of last year, yes, she did. Up until what's the name of that tournament? The 5th Grand Slam, they call it. Indian Wells. This is how you know I'm coming back from a break.
Is that the last thing she played in? Is that
Yes.
true? Indian Wells is like spring. I thought
Yes.
No, but that does make sense because she was not around during the clay season and she definitely wasn't around on grass.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, if I'm lying, I'm dying. But also if I'm wrong, I'll make a note of it across the screen. But she did play early in the year last year. It didn't go great. And I don't think that it's gonna be a huge announcement when she goes. I think she's gonna grab her things, book deal, skincare line. It's coming, something's coming. Makeup, hair care, another book. And she's gonna gather her things and just go. Slowly fade into the bush like Homer Simpson.
I hear you and I see that. I could see that happening actually. But I really hope that she doesn't. Like I definitely think that Venus Williams deserves her flowers, just like all the other greats in tennis got their flowers. Rafa had a whole season of tribute.
It was so long.
Novak isn't even retiring, and yet like people, because he's getting older, because he had that knee injury this year, people are like, well, let's give him his flowers. Serena's send-off was beautiful also.
This is true. And
I think that Venus is an unsung hero in tennis. Like the real ones know her value and the real ones know her value and her greatness. To other people, it's kind of like she lived in Serena's shadow. I don't think that that's true, and therefore I do think that she should be celebrated like her sister was celebrated, like Rafa, like Andy Murray, like all those dudes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think it would be a disservice to her legacy, if there wasn't that celebration. Okay, what's your next one?
Next up on my list, I think that there are going to be at least 2 more doping incidents. Yeah,
That for real. I was not
yeah.
expecting doping to be in
I
on this
just
list.
I feel it coming. I feel it coming. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the way that Yannick Sinner doping case went, and then the way that Iga's doping case was exposed towards the end of the season, I'm like, this is not the end of this. Something else is afoot.
Do you have specific players tied to it or no?
I hope it's Nick Kyrgios. Yeah, yeah. If Nick has 0 haters, I'm not here anymore. That guy sucks.
You know what? I forgot about Nick Kyrgios.
And I have another prediction about him.
Okay.
Because he's picking up his racket in
He
January
is.
again.
He will be at the Australian Open.
I feel like he won't be able to back up the chatter. He's a talker. He's a commentator now. That's what you do. He's been talking for Nick Kyrgios. First of all, he's not a good person. So I don't feel bad about ripping into this man right now. He's been talking smack for months.
Wait, sorry to cut in. Can you give detail onto why he's not a good person? I have one point that I want to add, but I want you to start.
So my main reason for saying that he's not a good person is because he's been accused of DV, domestic violence. And then honestly, the encore antics, I wouldn't even say that makes him a bad person. It makes him a childish person, 100%. Arguing with the crowd is just
arguing with Ben Stiller,
like,
whom I've met and who is very nice.
like, Nick Kyrgios is an entertainer, I think. He's an entertainer, and so he wants to create entertainment on the court.
Okay, here's devil's advocate. I don't back Nick Kyrgios. I do agree that he's not a great person and he is a leech, a cultural leech. That's a different story for a different day. But I will also say I think we do need entertainers, not in the way that he entertains, but we need people who are entertaining. Otherwise, we get bleep and bleep and bleep who are not.
No, I agree
who are
with
not
that.
personalities. So like you watch them play and they're good, but you have no interest in figuring out like who you have no interest in learning more about these people on a personal level. Like off the court, they're like, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I didn't say that a entertaining tennis player is a derogatory thing. I absolutely don't agree with that. I love Carlos Alcaraz. I love Ben Shelton. I love Gail Monfils. Nick is not really what I would consider an entertainer. He's like the Trump of tennis. He does stuff for shock value and for people to boo him. He just wants attention. And I can't get down with that, and I don't respect it. Yeah, I don't like the talk. You talking on a mic means that you're not on the tennis courts practicing. You speaking into a mic means that you're not swinging your racket.
I mean, true. And in Netflix's Breaking Point docuseries, he mentions how like he doesn't train in the traditional way that tennis players do. Or
No.
like he's not consistent in his training and his recovery. And in order to be a good tennis player, you have to train consistently and recover. So unless that's changed and he's doing something different team, has a coach, I don't see him going far. I am so excited to watch it play out though, because I think someone like him needs a kick in the butt Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it, and that makes me really happy. Now, I will say Nick is brown ish. I don't know if he would identify as that, but I identify him as that clearly just based off of his complexion. And so there is a part of me that does root for him because there are so many people who I see in crowds who are white who despise him. And
That's fair.
I can't discern whether them despising him is because his personality isn't great, or if they just despise him because he's brown and he wears his hat to the back.
And he's different. Like he is something new on the court, and that is something that I do appreciate. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, I'll give him his flowers for that. I'll give 1 point to his house for that. But asterisk.
Yeah, huge asterisk. Like there's that part of me that will if he's if and when he's good, will be like nice. Like the white people who hate him have to suck it. But then there's a bigger part of me that's like this dude sucks himself. So I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't even be rooting for him at all. Cause even though he is despised by the kinds of white people or the kinds of rich people that I don't agree with, there are other people who are black and who are actually decent people that I could support instead. So I've worked this out in my head. Has become a therapy session, and I'm no longer a Nick Curio supporter in any way. But we'll see how he does.
Yeah, it's fair because it's like if he does become this great tennis player that he promises he is, he promises it. If he becomes that, at what cost, right? Like it does, if he doesn't change his disposition, if he just continues to sort of like do too much, it's like there are other people that I could support who don't take the piss just for the sake of taking the piss.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there are a lot of kids who watch tennis. Like a
This is
lot of
true.
kids who watch tennis. And I'm not going to be a person who props up someone who has been accused of domestic violence. Absolutely not.
This is
So,
true.
Nick, he can kick rocks.
I agree 100% in that. Yeah, there are too many people who are decent for there to be any support behind someone who is proven time and time again that he's indecent, rather. So, case closed. Next case. And next prediction.
Okay.
I said I wasn't uh trying to sound like a hater, but this one actually is just hateration and
Just lean
holleration.
into it. It's okay. Balance, you know? Good, bad, love, hateration.
I think for the first half of 2025, Coco Serve will continue to suffer.
Ah,
I said it. It's off my chest and it's above me now. I said it. It's done. I'm sorry, Coco. I love you.
wait. Now, that actually hurt me.
It hurt me
Physical-
too.
Physically, I am hit.
It hurt me too. I wrote it
Why? I need a why. ASAP, no Rocky.
because I think she's suffering from the yips and I think it's just going to take time to get it right.
Even with the WTA finals chip,
It does not matter because her double faults were still astronomical.
even with the 4 milli in the bank
It
account,
doesn't matter. It could have been 4 Billy. Her double faults.
in the final, I disagree.
She had like 6.
No, she did not.
Pull up check the numbers.
No, she didn't. Coco, if you ever listen to this, ignore her
Don't ignore me.
because her stats are off.
Don't ignore me. I love Coco Golf. She's a winner, baby, like RuPaul says. But her double faults are still present.
She had 4.
Oh, see, I wasn't too far off. And how many did what's her butt have?
1.
I'm sorry, not what's her butt.
Do you need help with this one?
Please.
Qin Zheng.
Yes. Sorry. I'm sorry, girl. Um, yeah, 1 to 4.
1 to
4
4.
4 is better than she has been. Great. But double faults are not a requirement in a tennis match. And I know Coco has the ability to not get 4 double faults in a match. And I know she's going to get there in 2025, but I think the first half of her year will still see that. Here's what it is. I think sometimes Coco can get in her head when something goes awry, and she tends to stay in her head, and that's where the double faults come from. But I think now that Brad's gone, oh, thank you, and she's added Matt Daly onto her team, having a new mind, a new perspective will do her good. And she's going to turn it around and hopefully figure out ways to not remain in her head when she gets there. That is also my prediction for 2025. But just saying, it's going to take some time. So the first year, we might not see it. But the end of the year, particularly the US Open, she's going to do really well. That's my prediction.
I'm gonna keep hope alive. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna say, yeah, Coco's gonna drop that shoulder when she needs to drop that shoulder. And her double faults in the Australian Open, I think her max for any match, 3.
Okay.
I'm manifesting.
Go ahead, continue.
I have to, honestly. Otherwise, it's a rough road.
Okay, what's your 4th?
My 4th was about Nick, actually. I have my 5th one.
Oh,
You
sorry.
ready to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that Carlos takes the calendar Grand Slam. If not,
meaning he wins Australian Open.
Is that the only one? Yes, because that is the only one he has left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he takes the calendar Grand Slam. I would love it if he could do 4 this year, but I know he can't. I know he can't do all 4 because he's not great on indoor hard courts. Those are his words, not mine, his words. And so I think it'll take him a couple of years before he does the Golden Slam.
You think he will do the Golden Slam?
Eventually, yes, I do.
Mm.
And I think in 4 years, he's going to take gold at the Olympics.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I think so too.
Yeah. Novak's not going to be playing in 4 years. He won't have anybody in his way.
Yannick will be playing.
Yannick. Actually, it depends on where they're going to have the Olympics.
It's here.
What surface? Do you know?
Hard.
That remains to be seen.
I hope Carlos takes Australian. I think it would. I think it'd just be some good momentum to start the year. I can't have someone who is not black or brown win it. And I'm identifying Carlos as brown, but I love Yannick Sinner. I do. I think he's a great tennis player. He is incredibly technical, but I just don't want to see it. I don't. And I love supporting Carlos in completing a calendar slam. And he would just be the perfect person to do it. Nadal's gone. He's following in his mentor's legacy. And then for him to get Australian would just be so poetic and so good. So yeah, I hope he does it. And in terms of injuries, he's pretty good right now, right? Like he's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't have any injuries. He's doing exhibition matches all over the country. Very cute.
Nice. Okay. Then yeah. That's a good prediction. Who do you think he'll play in the final?
Ooh. I feel like it's anybody's game. I mean, obviously, Sinner could be the guy.
Or Francis Tiafo, depending on the draw.
Francis Tiafo is definitely on my list. It could be Fritz too, who made it really far at the U.S. Open, got all the way to the finals, lost to Sinner. But those are the three main ones I'm thinking. Now, I would love for it to be like a wild card player. I would love for it to be just a random player who makes the finals at the Australian Open on the men's side or the women's side or both. I would love that. That would give me great joy because that would reinstate unpredictability in the game, and that's what I feel like tennis has been missing for a while now.
Now, what if it would be really funny in the least haha way if that wild card was Nick Kyrgios?
I don't see it. I don't see it. Like now, if it does end up being him, I would watch. But I know he's not taking the chip.
My fifth has nothing to do with the player. It's about the air of tennis going into 2025 here in America. My prediction is that in the way that tennis picked up professional tennis, watching games, etc., picked up steam in 2024 off of challengers and just social media and people's wanting to pick up hobbies and activities. I think that in 2025 there will be a small shift away from tennis because it screams 1% and it screams rich and it screams exclusivity. And that's just at the top level. So professional matches that people watch. I think on a smaller level, grassroots level, people playing tennis, I don't see much of a change there. I'm hoping that there's a change for the better and that more Black people pick up tennis rackets and go out and play. But in terms of like what will be more interested in watching professionally, I think there will be a small shift there, particularly post inauguration, when people who are not rich, who are not close to the 1% or have no aspirations to be a part of the 1% will start to just like turn their head a little bit and be like, do I like this? The only reason I'm predicting this is because it's happening to me, where it's like, I love watching tennis. I'll always love watching tennis. And there are people in the tennis world that I've loved and who I've idolized that I'll always hold on to that. And I'm also like, this is it feels elitist in some ways, and that makes me a little, it gives me a little bit of the ick going into 2025 just because of the environment and the circumstances. That's my prediction. Will it result in anything significant? I doubt it, but it's just a feeling, just a vibe. Yeah. Prediction, long story short, prediction, the tennis vibe will shift. That's it. We shall see.
We shall.
Okay. Well, that wraps it up. Those are our 2025 predictions.
Yeah, let us know which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with. If you have any hot takes of your own, or like what you're most excited to see this upcoming tennis season, or some things that you definitely do not want to see this tennis season. We are very curious about what y'all think.
Yeah. And we'll be back at the top of the year before the Australian Open with our season 2 premiere. That's gonna be really exciting.
It's gonna be great. All right.
Well, until then,
Until then, love you.
bye.
Bye.